Beautiful. So welcome everyone to Kunle Adewale's virtual book launch of Atunbi, The Grits, The Guts, The Glory. My name is Camelia Rodriguez-Sackburn, and I manage our international network of Advanced Atlantic Fellows for Equity and Brain Health at GBHI. Before the program begins, we will get warmed up with a dance body movement activity led by Magda Kazmarska. Magda is an Atlantic Fellow for Equity and Brain Health at the Global Brain Health Institute, and she is also a teaching artist and creative aging advocate. Magda, take us away.
Oh, thank you so much, Camelia, for that introduction. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone here in this virtual space. It is an absolute honor to be here with each one of you. And Kunle, thank you so much for uniting all of us together today on this day that's very special also for Nigeria. And I am very, very honored to be able to start us off on some communal group movement for this wonderful launch of your memoir. So those of you who have interacted with Kunle even for 5 minutes know that he has tremendous charisma, enthusiasm, and an absolutely infectious joy and optimism. And so I thought that we would begin today's event with a song that I found that I think really encapsulates this energy and hopefully allows us to join together and feeling some of that in our bodies as well as in our minds and hearts. So I invite you to join in this communal celebration. And as always, I remind you that you know your body better than anybody in this space. So if something doesn't feel right for you, do what feels good for your body today. Know that watching and witnessing and holding space for others is also a way of participating. I will be demonstrating seated, but you can do all of these movements standing. So please feel free to do whatever feels right for you today. Allow me to just share my sound very quickly, and then we'll begin. So while I'm sharing the sound, go ahead and settle yourselves into your seats. Feel your sits bones in your chair, maybe even rock side to side for a second. Feel your feet on the floor. If you have a table in front of you, try to slide yourself away from it so that you do not accidentally knock your knees into it. Make sure you have enough space side to side to not hit any walls. I do have a wall here, so I'll be mindful of it. And take a deep breath in, lift your shoulders up, and let them drop with an exhale. Excellent, good. One more time, inhale. Wonderful. And let us, you have my sound, great. Thank you. Go ahead and begin to feel movements. Starting with the
happy, 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 happy every day. No more tears, I'm happy all the way. Happy, 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 happy every day. No more tears, I'm happy all the way. I say roll am, sister roll am, auntie roll am. I'm happy every day. I say roll am,
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Beautiful dancing. Beautiful, beautiful dancing. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale. One more time, inhale. And with that, I invite you to enjoy the rest of this afternoon. I'll see you a little bit later. Thank you.
Thank you, Magda. And you can use the universal deaf sign actually for applause, which is waving your hands like this to give a little applause, appreciation. Magda, that was so energizing and wonderful. There's so many people dancing at the same time worldwide. It is again my pleasure to welcome you to the virtual book launch of Kunle Adewale's memoir, Atunbi, The Grit, the Guts, the Glory. Today, October 1st, is also Nigerian National Independence Day. I'd like to invite my colleague Andrew to play a special video of the Nigerian national anthem as we're beginning. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Wow, there's nothing like beautiful, harmonious music like that anthem, and then the movement from Magda to get us started and just energized. Thank you. I am now pleased to introduce Achenyo Idachaba Obaro, the founder of Mitimeth. Mitimeth is a social enterprise organization based in Ibadan, Nigeria, that transforms waste and builds livelihoods using arts, crafts, and design. Welcome, Achenyo.
Thank you very much, Camelia, for the introduction, the kind introduction. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all, wherever you might be joining this event from. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this moment.
Oh, Achenyo, I think you might be muted.
Okay, all right.
There you
Sorry.
are, perfect.
All right, great. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. It keeps on telling me that the host is muted, has muted me.
Okay, we can hear you really well now. Let's see.
Okay. All right. So welcome. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this momentous occasion to celebrate Kunle and the publishing of his memoir, Atunbi, The Grit, the Guts, and the Glory. It's not by coincidence that this event is taking place today, which is the 60th independence anniversary of Nigeria, Kunle's native country, and her diamond anniversary. And indeed, Kunle is one of Nigeria's diamonds. I recall several months ago when Kunle told me he was writing his autobiography, and I sort of like exclaimed, I'm like, wow, your autobiography? that's remarkable at age 39. And then he clarified that it was his memoir, and he told me why he was writing it at the time that he was writing it. And he also graciously sent me the draft copy, you know, it was about a month plus ago. And I kid you not, I couldn't drop it once I picked it up, despite having an unfinished application that was hanging over my head at the time. Kunle's memoir is a narrative on fulfilling life's purpose with dogged determination and making lemonade out of lemons along the journey. There are several reasons, as you will discover in Atunbi, that he could have given up or turned to vice due to environmental factors, but he didn't. Atunbi is a must-read for every youth in Nigeria and elsewhere for that matter, across the globe, who has one excuse or the other as to why the odds stacked against them in the environment are hindering being successful in life. I say a big congratulations to you, Kunle, for overcoming, for facing your circumstances in life with grit, for having the guts to push through and break through, and for the humility and grace with which you have handled and shared the glory and rewards. The best is yet to come. Congratulations again, and God bless you.
Thank you, Achenyo. Applause for you. Thank you very much. Beautiful words. I am now delighted to welcome Dr. Bruce Miller to provide a set of keynote remarks today. Dr. Miller is the director of the Memory and Aging Center at the University of California, San Francisco, and he is the co-director of the Global Brain Health Institute. Dr. Miller is a professor of neurology and psychiatry at UCSF, where he holds the A.W. and Mary Margaret Clausen Distinguished Professorship in Neurology. A fun fact, Dr. Miller, also like Magda, is a member of the Mac band, the Swinging Synapses. Welcome, Dr. Miller.
Thank you, Camelia. Thank you all. It's intimidating to be asked to say some words about Kunle. He is in some ways so transparent, so open, so much available to all who meet him. And yet I think there is mystery about Kunle that I can't wait to begin to resolve as I read his autobiography. This is an extraordinary man. He was not born in circumstances of great privilege. Yet I think with his upbringing, he had a huge sensitivity to the underserved, to people who did not get a chance in the world. And I think Kunle got a chance because of his unbelievable grit. I see why that's in the title. His sense of awe and wonder about the world. From the minute you meet Kunle, he's giggling and laughing and can see the relationship that will develop before you even begin to know who Kunle is. In some ways, he is so much of Nigeria. And I think, although I've never been to Nigeria, I'm beginning to get a little window into the wonderful cultures of Nigeria. Yet he's also distinct. He's an artist. He's translates wherever he goes. He is a man of the world. And I think Kunle, in a very brief period of time, really completely transformed UCSF, the Memory and Aging Center and the Memory and Aging Center band. So Kunle is a brilliant visual artist. His art moves everyone who sees it. It is art of Nigeria, but also of the world. During his time with us, he became very close friends with Susan Williams, Robin Williams' widow. And the two of them have shown art together, talked about art. And I think like Robin Williams, Kunle has this unsuppressible spirit, unsuppressible joy about every minute of every day. I don't think he sleeps. I don't think he has time to sleep. He has way too much to do. And in our band, not only did we get to see some of his beautiful paintings, but we also got to see his ability to create a song, to sing with incredible beauty, and brought our whole band into the beginnings of understanding of Nigerian music. There is no ceiling for Kunle. He is a rocket. I think he was a rocket from the minute he was born. And all of us are going to watch this rocket, and there's nothing that he can't do. There's nothing he can't do in art. There's nothing he can't do in politics. So this is autobiography #1, which is an amazing story. But wait for autobiography #2. This is the autobiography that begins to change the world. So we have memories of Kunle that will be inspiration at UCSF for many, many generations. These are Kunle's pictures of African people that will be in our new Global Brain Health Institute building. I will be able to see them every single day. And this is really a joyous beginning, the first autobiography, the beginning of a remarkable man who will change Nigeria, change GBHI, change the world. Kudos, Kunle. You are the best. You're a friend for life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. It's wonderful. And I would just like to echo that sense of wonder and joy that Kunle carries with him. I think any of us who have interacted with him just feel that. It just fills our whole bodies, that joy. So thank you. My background is actually a virtual background of one of Kunle's paintings. The blues and just the vibrant color, that's Kunle right there. It is now my pleasure to invite a special musical interlude by Sinmedele Ayodeji, an Arts and Medicine Fellow and with the Arts and Medicine Orchestra. The Arts and Medicine Project is a project of Tender Arts Nigeria, which started in 2015 to help transform the healthcare experience for patients, their family members, and caregivers. Sinmedele, we're so looking forward to your music.
Hi, good day everyone.
Hi.
My name is Sinmedele. Thank you so much, Mr. Kunle, for having me. Congratulations. I'll be sharing with you 2 songs this day, evening, afternoon, or whatever time you're in. The first song is called Butterfly. It's a song I finished today. And for me, the butterfly represents endurance and new beginnings and transformation. And so I hope the words of this song just encourage and bring life to you today. Enjoy. Can you hear my guitar well? Fantastic. Okay. Open your eyes, breathe in. Welcome to the world you're seeing. Sit back, relax. You'll enjoy the journey. Life is full of many seasons, and I'll beg you to seize them. Yeah, it's a roller coaster, so strap up for the ride. 'Cause there'll be highs and there'll be lows. The rails are winding and rough. Hold tight to that one thing that steadies you along. Butterfly, fly away. Butterfly, fly away, away, away. And don't stop flying, flying. Butterfly, fly mind be free. Break out of the shell you sleep in. The earth awaits for the color that you bring. Feel the sun's embrace on your wings. Get ready, take off, ride the wind. Yeah, and as you soar the sky, enjoy the journey. Oh, oh, oh. Through every twist and every turn, a signal fire will lead you on. Hold tight to that one thing that carries you along. Butterfly, fly away. Butterfly, fly away, away, away. And don't stop flying, flying. Butterfly, fly away, away, away. Butterfly, butterfly, fly away, away, away. And don't stop flying. You can soar the sky. Butterfly, fly away, away, away. Open your eyes, breathe in. Welcome to the world, we've been waiting for you. Thank you. And then the second song is a song requested by Mr. Kunle. It is called Eye Adaba. And this song just talks about a new day and again hope. It's in Yoruba, Mr. Kunle's language, and I'll be singing that for you as well. Ojúmọ́ ti mọ́, ojúmọ́ ti mọ́ mi nílé yìí o. Ojúmọ́ ti mọ́, mo ríre o. Ojúmọ́ ti mọ́, ojúmọ́ ti mọ́ mi nílé yìí o. Ojúmọ́ ti mọ́, mo ríre o. Ẹyẹ àdàbà, ẹyẹ àdàbà, ẹyẹ àdàbà tí fò lókè lókè. Wá balẹ̀ mi o. Ojúmọ́ ti mọ́, mo ríre o. Óyá, ẹyẹ àdàbà, ẹyẹ àdàbà, ẹyẹ àdàbà tí fò lókè lókè. Wá balẹ̀ mi o. Ojúmọ́ ti mọ́, mo ríre o. Ẹyẹ àdàbà, ẹyẹ àdàbà, ẹyẹ àdàbà tí fò lókè lókè. Wá balẹ̀ mi o. Ojúmọ́ ti mọ́, mo ríre o. Thank you. And congratulations again, Mr. Kunle.
Wow, Simedele, that was gorgeous. That was just absolutely gorgeous. I'm seeing chats in the comments about people feeling butterflies in their stomachs. Just total magic. Beautiful. And there's a question from Kate Postine saying, tell us, where can we hear more? Where can we hear more of your music?
More of my music can be found on Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud. My name is Simidele on there. And Butterfly will be released towards the end of the year just as a gift for 2020. So
What a gift that is. It's
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. I feel like we've been elevated into another world. It is now my honor to introduce the person of the hour, Kunle Adewale, a leader, creator, and global innovator in arts, health, and well-being practices, an Atlantic Fellow for Equity and Brain Health, the founder of Tender Arts Nigeria, a Mandela Washington Fellow, and recently a father, among many other accolades. Kunle is also a fellow band member in the MAC Band. I'm going to keep this introduction short because we're going to hear more about Kunle's far-reaching journey during this program. Kunle, my friends, congratulations on your memoir. Can you please share more with us about your path in writing Atunbi?
Wow, thank you so much, Camelia, and thank you very much, Dr. Bruce, my GBHI regional mentor, Mrs. Achenyo Dachaba, and everyone on Zoom call today. I want to welcome us once again to this glorious and special day in my life and also in Nigeria. Nigeria clocks 60 today, which coincides with my book launch, Atunbi. In May 13 this year, I clocked 39. And then I was like, whoa, so fast. I will soon be 40. And then, I sat back and I reflected on my journey on earth. I think about the good, the bad, the ugly. I thought about my resilience, my courage, my faith, my passion, my self-love, and all of the things I've actually been through. And how actually I overcome all of those challenges. And one thing that I think is very critical is we all have a common denominator: stories of abuse, stories of gender-based violence, stories of discrimination, stories of mental health conditions, stories of death of loved ones, untimely death of loved ones. We have stories of failures, of shame, of guilt. I mean, the list go on and on and on. And I'm talking about stories of gender-based violence, of abuse. I remembered growing up as a child in Nigeria, and I watched my dad beat my mom severally. I know this is not like a story like for the public, but I think it's very important for me to be able to talk about this in my book. And so I watched my dad beat my mom, and the violence continuing at home. And then my mom sometimes would bleed and bleed and bleed. At the time, I thought we were going to lose my mom. I mean, there were periods and there were nights when we would be locked out of the room at night. And then my dad would continue to abuse my mom, assault my mom, and I feel like she was going to die. There were periods I thought about all of those things. And I wish sometimes like I had a gun, I would have shot my dad dead. Do you know why? Because, saying I was going to defend, I was going to avenge, like this innocent woman does not deserve all of this beating and abuse. And then so my home front was like hell, like constant violence, and it's not a place that's habitable. It's not a place that is desirable. It's not a place that is beautiful to behold. And unfortunately, talking about untimely death of loved ones. Precisely 2010, June 17, around 3 a.m., I received a distress call from one of my step sisters, and she called me, and then she said, "Your mom had died. She slept, and she died in her sleep." And then I ran like a madman. I was in the department when I received the call. I started crying, I started sharing tears. It was a very difficult moment in my life. Way back 10 years ago, when my mom died, we all have that moment. People who have contributed significantly to our lives. People who have been part of our story, part of our journey, part of our success. We just want them to just be part of the glory. We want them to be part of the celebration. But unfortunately, my mom saw the grit. She saw the gut, but she didn't see the glory. She died. She didn't see all of this. She didn't see me meeting with the President of the United States in 2015. My mom never witnessed that. But then I remember even when I told my dad I would love to go to school, and then my dad looked at me and said, well, no, you don't look like a child that can ever go to school. Go and learn trade. And then, but I went to my mom. My mom said, don't worry, I will support you. And God will provide the money required to send you to college. Of course, it did happen. My mom would trek kilometers and trek miles, selling hawking trade on the street of Lagos, in the rain and in the sun. She was part of the great. She was part of the gods. But today, she's not part of the glory. I lost my mom, but I didn't lose my mind. I lost my mom, but I didn't lose my mind. Many of us are here today. We have lost loved ones. People that really have promised us heaven and earth. They've been there for us, and they will wish they're actually part of our journey. They are part of our celebration. And today we are still thinking about them. We are stuck in the past. I want you to think about this today. The past is past. You are here now. What counts is what you do now. Know what has happened to you in the time past. Regardless of who have supported in your journey. If they have gone, they are gone. You are here. You can start life more in a beautiful way and in a more intelligent way. Speaking about, our scarcity. My dad married 2 wives. We have 14 children, and we live in 1 room. 14 children, 2 wives, 1 man, 1 room. Think about that, scarcity. So we do not have the resources to be able to stay in a room like some of you have, your fanciful, beautiful home. We don't have that. I didn't have that growing up. And so think about having the numbers of children in the room. The way we are so sandwiched. Some people will sleep under the bed, some will sleep at the corridor. And then I slept severally under staircase like a homeless person. And interestingly, those days when I was growing up, our landlord actually was rearing animals, goats, among many other animals. So sometimes when I'm sleeping under the staircase, goats will come and sleep on the same mat where I was sleeping. So I was sharing mat with goats growing up. I saw all of that. And there were periods I had to go and sleep on the 3rd street because there was no room to accommodate us. And then I would sleep on the balcony. And I would sleep till daybreak, and the dew, heaven will open and dew will rail and fall on me. And then my clothes will be so wet. That was the kind of environment I grew up in. So I know what it is to be homeless. I know what it means not to have anything. I even remembered even during my college days, when I was in Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife, and I couldn't afford a bed space in the hostel. One of my friends actually accommodated me. There was no space for me to sleep. I slept on the bare floor in the hostel as a student, on a bare floor, growing up, and I saw all of this. Speaking about discriminations and stories of discrimination, of rejections, and not being wanted. When I was born, I'm a naturally left-handed person, and then I was being stigmatized for being a left-handed person. I was like, what is my offense? I didn't make myself. I grew up using left hand. And then so I became a subject of ridicule, of reproach, of shame, of evil. Like, you are evil for using left hand. You are bad. I mean, my friends will condemn me. My family member will speak evil of me. And then, I remembered there were periods that I was denied of food because I refused to use right hand. I refuse to use left hand. They want me to use the right hand. I remember period of cases where I would go to restaurants with my friends to eat. As soon as they saw me like bringing out my left hand, they want to dip the hand into the plate. They say, no way. You know what they do? They will vacate the table for me and move to another table. And they will leave me alone. Like, no, we can't be associated with you. You are left-handed. And I know what it means that when people look at you, they try to put you in a frame. They stereotype you. They say you are evil because they don't know you. They don't understand you. I know what it means to be left behind. I know what it means to be misjudged and be misrepresented. I know all of this growing up. Talking about those rejections and then all of this, affected me mental health-wise. So as a child growing up in Nigeria, I had contemplated suicide sometimes. Because of the rejection, I had no self-esteem growing up. The beating, everything. The way my dad told me when I said I was going to school, and he said, you can't. No father should ever tell his daughter or son, you can't. But my dad told me I can't. But I told myself I can, and I will, and I became. So all of these, in a way, contributed, to my life. And, I want you to understand it's beyond the rhetoric, because there's so much you need to read about this in my book. There's so much I'm not sharing now because of time. So today I am a better version of me. I'm an artist and a global leader, working with seniors living with dementia and other forms of dementia or cognitive impairment, not only in Nigeria, in the United States, also around the world. Interestingly, today, I have a day named after me, August 2nd, in Cincinnati, Ohio, Kunle Adewale Day. I never begged for it. That name came because of the role I'm playing in the universe. I'm a man whose time has come. I've come to take my place and play my role. And, as somebody who is also working in healthcare space and the community in Nigeria, over 15,000 people have benefited from our creative engagement, not only in Nigeria, but around the globe. So I want to say to you today, you are not your past. The past is past. You are not your trauma. You are not your shame. You are not your guilt. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are a masterpiece. In my book, Atunbi, you will find purpose for your journey, and you will gain the courage to live life to the fullest. You will find fuel for your passion to live your life in a more compelling way. You are not here to play small. You are not here as a spectator. You are a stakeholder in making the world a better place. God has created you for a blessing bigger than your background. I celebrate you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kunle. Oh my gosh, those are such powerful words from the heart. Truly appreciate them. What is so striking is your resilience and what you say, encouragement to all of us based on your own journey, that we are stakeholders. We are here. Thank you very, very much. We're gonna have time, everybody, for Q&A, for questions and discussion. I see the comments flowing in of just support. Wonderful. I would like to pass the anchoring to my colleague, Wemimo Onikan. Wemimo is a media and communications specialist. Wemimo, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Camelia. Thank you so much, everyone, for making time to be here today. And thank you so much, Kunle, for sharing from your heart. That indeed is very inspiring. And I'm hoping that for as many people who are hearing these words today, they actually take that away from here, that the past is gone. You're not the same person you used to be, and you're a stakeholder in the world, and you can indeed make the world a better place. All right, so we're going to the next segment on the program today, and we're going to be reviewing different chapters from Kunle's book. I'd like to invite Pelu Awofeso. Pelu Awofeso is a writer, he's an author, he's a winner, the winner of the CNN Multi-Choice African Journalist Awards on tourism reporting, and is a contributor and online editor for the online platform, The Daily Report NG. He'll be taking us on a journey on the first part of Kunle's book, which we're celebrating today, and the first part, which is The Grits. Let's welcome together Pelu Awofeso.
Hello, everyone. I say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening again. We said that earlier. It's really good to be in this meeting to present a brief review of Kunle Adewale's memoir, Atunbi. But I hope I can, Camelia, can I share a screen just briefly?
I think you can. Andrew, is that possible? Yeah.
let me just see if I can. I think it's very relevant to what I'm trying to do. Let me just see if I can do that quickly. Can you see my screen?
We can't see your screen yet.
Okay, sorry, just a minute. I'm sorry, just a second. Okay, let me just continue. I thought I needed to show. Okay, how about now?
We don't see anything yet. If you want to email it, we could try to share at our end, but perhaps maybe go ahead without the visual.
Okay, so
and,
I thought it should show already, but you know, in any case, let me just go ahead. Okay, so my paths crossed with that of Kunle Adewale sometime in 2013. Oh my goodness. Apologies, please. Okay, so let me just go ahead without it. I wanted to show a picture of when I actually met Kunle Adewale. It was sometime in September 2013. But before then, I met him through a Facebook message. I was at the time working, you know, at the Nigeria Centenary in Abuja in 2013/2014, when Nigeria was celebrating its centenary. And so a message came into the message window for the page. It was a certain Kunle Adewale introducing himself and saying, Nigeria Centenary, I have a little girl that I teach who is an artist, and I would like for her to present an artwork to the president. At the time, the president was Goodluck Jonathan. And I felt touched by the message. I was in charge of the social media at the time. And I thought, for this young man to be so passionate about this little girl, to want to push her forward for such a celebration, I think it deserves to be listened to. And so we picked up the message, we sent a response to him and said, please, can you give us your number? I would like to reach you. And then we did that. And within a couple of weeks and a couple of months, the little girl came to Abuja, and then she met the secretary to the government of the federation, who was like the very top-notch person in the presidency. And at the grand finale of the centenary celebration, Kunle Adewale's dream and vision for this little girl called Ayomikun came to pass, because right there on stage, the little girl presented her artwork to the then president of Nigeria. Okay, it is the picture of that artwork that I wanted to share with you that I'm unable to share right now. So my friendship with Kunle Adewale goes back 7 years thereabouts. And thank God I can't share it, but I can actually, can you see the artwork behind me? Oh yeah, so that's an artwork made by Ayomikun. She painted this artwork in 2017, and Kunle Adewale actually did an exhibition for all the kids he was training and mentoring. And I said, oh, Ayomikun has painted another artwork. I needed to get it. So I got this one and I got the second one right here. But the young lady I was talking about is Ayomikun, and that's her artwork. It was painted in 2017. So my point is, Kunle Adewale has always had, even from before we knew him, has always had this vision. He thinks bigger than the average Nigerian. Okay, so it's no surprise to me when I saw him come out with a book to share his story. You know, even though he's actually, you know, said a couple of things that I've listed here, because the book is divided into 3 sections, and I'm supposed to be talking about the first one, the grit. So I'll just quickly go. And he also, Kunle Adewale, like he said, was born into a polygamous family. His father had 2 wives. One of them is mom, and then they had 14 kids. And you know, while I was reading the version that he sent to me, I could not relate Kunle Adewale Kunle Adewale's story with the Kunle Adewale that I knew. Because when you meet Kunle, Kunle is always smiling. It's always, it's always, you can always see him, irradiates life, irradiates energy, irradiates all this. You can never see him and think he passed through all the things that he has shared in his book. How, for heaven's sake, would you imagine that he witnessed his dad beating his mom mercilessly almost all the time? How can you relate Kunle Adewale, who we now see today being celebrated, who has earned so many degrees and certificates and recognitions and fellowships, with the little boy who lived in a very, backward part of Nigeria, a slum, a ghetto called Mushin? The slide I was going to show you also contains a picture that gives you an idea, because for everybody who is in the US or who is somewhere else in the world, when you read about Mushin, you may not really be able to get a mental picture of that community in Nigeria. So I actually, got a picture online to say, this is what Mushin is like. This is the slum that Kunle Adewale came from. So you need to now be able to appreciate how far he has come from being a young boy who saw his dad beat his mom, from being a young boy who had to hawk. He had to sell things just to be able to support his mom. He sold boiled eggs, he sold sachet water, he sold all sorts of odds and ends just to be able to support his mom, to be able to get a little money to go to school. You needed to see the environment where all he saw on a daily basis was violence, was touting, was gambling. It's unbelievable that he was exposed to all of that and he did not allow it to get into him. The only thing that got to Kunle Adewale was gambling. And I was surprised, of all the ills of society that he could get involved in, it was gambling that appealed to him. So you found him looking for money at all costs, trying to get money to gamble. He gambled with his siblings, he gambled with his friends, he gambled with his classmates. I was just wondering, why gambling of all things? Nothing else. He didn't smoke, he didn't drink. So he shares all of that in the book. Beyond selling on the street, he didn't have clothes, he didn't have the proper clothes. You can imagine that being a possibility for a young boy whose parents were not rich. So oftentimes you'll find him wearing a knicker that is torn at the back. I can imagine that scenario. I've seen, students wear those kind of uniforms, or clothes at home where they really can't even afford to patch it. And so, I will just imagine Kunle Adewale doing all of that. He was a bus conductor, all right? I hope you know what I mean by being a bus conductor. He will stand on the door of a commercial bus and hail passengers to come into the bus. That was a teenager who should be in school, being a conductor. He was also, he did all sorts of things. All he has achieved, does not even relate to the hardship that he's had to go through. That for me is the strength of Kunle Adewale's book. If you think you are going through hell, Kunle Adewale has been through that and back. Like he said, he did not have, he may have lost his mom, he may have lost loved ones, but he did not lose his mind. That is someone who has stamina. I'm not sure many kids will go through what Kunle Adewale went through and be standing right now. They will not be where Kunle Adewale is. And I salute him. It is truly a story of grit, a story of determination, a story of purpose. And as I sat down mid this month and I was reading, I felt very emotional, trying to relate Kunle with all the things, the terrible things he's had to go through. At some point, I almost shed a tear. I didn't tell him this when I was talking to him. But I'm like, how did you go through all of that? And when I saw you, when we all see you, you're smiling, you feel so good. Nobody will know that you went through a quarter of the experiences you passed through. And then, of course, at some point in the book, he said, I know how it feels to be homeless, to be poor, to be hungry, to be rejected, to be depressed, to be lonely, to be betrayed. and then to fail multiple times. So a few years after I met Kunle, the only story that I knew that made me respect him was a bit about him writing examination. I mean, he wrote some exams 5 different times, a school certificate exam 5 different times, I think, and he wrote what we call a joint admission and matriculation board JAM exam 7 times. I wouldn't write an exam 5 times. I would not even have the stamina to continue. I wouldn't write an examination 7 times. So that was for me, that story alone about Kunle, which I heard maybe about 3-4 years ago, made me appreciate him as a special person, as someone with exceptional determination. Because I've never met anybody who has had to sit for an exam more than twice. But for Kunle, cumulatively to sit for one 5 times, another one 7 times, he succeeded. He went to the Polytechnic, spent 2 years. He transferred and went to the university and spent maybe 4 or 5 years. It takes remarkable patience and a sense of who you are and what you want to do to be able to go through all of that and not give up. That is what Kunle Adewale has modeled for us. He has modeled stamina, a sense of purpose, and belief in oneself. I'm not sure how many more minutes I have, but again, I picked a couple of inspiration from Kunle, and I list them here. I say key pillars. I actually titled my presentation "The Accidental Gambler." I made reference to him, experimenting with gambling when he was younger. So, these were the virtues that I think has got him to where we are today. He has been hardworking. He's been selfless. He's been resilient. He's been persistent. He's been focused, and has shown a great level of grace. And in the intro to the book, he said to every one of us, to anybody who gets to read his book, learn to say yes to your dreams. Kunle Adewale said yes to his dreams, even when he was going through hell in Mushin. He kept on saying yes to his dream every time he faced the storms of life. He never gave up, he never stopped. It is what has brought him this far. It is what has gotten him to be a Mandela Washington Fellow. It is what has earned him all the degrees, all the certificates, all the recognitions, that he has so far accomplished between then and now. I really feel happy to be a contributor by way of review to Kunle Adewale's success. I really wish that you won't stop doing what you do. You won't stop teaching the younger ones. You won't stop inspiring your generation. And then you won't stop projecting, the virtues and the ideals that makes us truly, truly human beings. Thank you so very much.
Wow. Thank you so much, Fellow. Please, can we just give it up for him? Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. That was such a beautiful summary of that section of the book. And indeed, it's like a taster. And then, you'd want to go back to the book to actually read more and see what Kunle really has to say. So we would go to the next person. I'm going to be welcoming now Anne Browning. Anne is the Assistant Director for Wellbeing at the University of Washington School of Medicine. She's the founding director of the University of Washington Resilience Lab, and affiliate as Assistant Professor at the University of Washington College of Education. Through her work, she's promoting resilience, brain health, and well-being for healthcare teams. She'll be taking us on the second part of Kunle's book, The Guts. Let's welcome Anne Browning.
Thank you very much for that introduction, and thank you so much for having me here today. What we learn from the grit really informs the guts. I've known Kunle for the year as kind of an Atlantic Fellow with the for Equity and Brain Health with the Global Brain Health Institute. I'll admit, for me, reading the grit was incredibly hard. It was a tough section. He speaks to, and he spoke to today, domestic violence, living in a state of fear, being restricted about being able to play with other people in the neighborhood. You mentioned sleeping under a staircase with kind of goats and other livestock. And then there's a moment of pivot where you get some insight into Kunle's ability to kind of reframe these moments of challenge. He mentions sleeping on his aunt's porch, but he mentions that that is a moment in which he actually gets to sleep under the stars and stargaze. And in that, you kind of get this sense of, there's something there, that even in these incredible moments of challenge, he can see the beauty and the awe, which Bruce had mentioned earlier as well. As I read through the grit section, I lost count of the number of ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences, in Kunle's stories. In broad swaths, I think there was this hustle to meet his basic needs, to fund his education. And he shares some descriptions of just horrific violence that he says left him with insomnia. I study resilience, and I look at Kunle's narrative through that lens. So research on resilience, really it started with researchers looking at the developmental trajectories of young kids with these ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And for the most part, kids with a lot of ACEs in their background had relatively low developmental trajectories. But for some kids, despite having a ton of ACEs in their backgrounds, they were able to grow and thrive. And the question of what was it that was allowing these kids to beat the odds and thrive despite adversity really became the research question that laid the foundation for what is now a body of research on resilience. And so that body of literature is really kind of based on understanding trajectories like Kunle's. From this research, what we find is there are kind of three real keys to being able to experience resilience. And those are really being able to cultivate relationships and connections, cultivate positive emotions, and be able to cultivate a sense of purpose. And as I read The Guts, I was really looking for these three keys to resilience. What we see is that, Kunle's relationships are probably a core foundation of how he moves through the world. We learn about his connection to his mother, a brother and friends who also financially help him out in a pinch. Then there are the women when he gets into kind of the university, and the older women who he helps out by carrying jugs of water, and then sets up this Agent 505 project. And he has these connections with these elder women who I think are often unseen within the environment, that he sees and acknowledges and helps support. And in return, when he's absent, they're like, "Where is Kunle, our son?" It's that kind of connection with people that allows him to have these moments of incredible resilience. There's a minister who ends up becoming a really healthy father figure for him. And then there are the students of families that he's connected to who have benefited from his engagement in the arts. The positive emotions, I think that kind of exudes from Kunle. As you read through the book, listen for these moments of reframing towards gratitude, even in the most challenging of moments. And I saw this reframe even in speaking with Kunle this summer. COVID-19 gave him an opportunity to sit down and write this book. Delayed return to Nigeria gave him an opportunity to travel and visit different places around the US, including coming to Seattle, where I am now. And then this kind of sense of purpose. You get the sense that Kunle's been searching for a way to provide a positive impact on the world. And in that search, he's found this kind of compassion both for himself and for others that allows him to persist when he hits one closed door by pivoting and being able to kind of move forward. One passage that really struck me was a description of not having funds to be able to attend a class. And he's sitting on the outside kind of looking in. And what struck me, and even in this moment where he says he kind of breaks down and cries, is what struck me was that what we cannot easily have kind of clarifies our focus and our desires. And in that moment of sadness, I really saw this incredible clarity and fortitude that he had to push forward. So The Guts in Atunbi is really a story of courage. It's a willingness to continue to pivot and move forward. I see this happening even early on when he talks about this shift from the science to the arts, and not really seeing that as a failure, but seeing it as a shift towards pursuing a passion. I also saw this in this willingness for him to put himself out there, this willingness to establish himself as an apprentice and take the action of finding a local artist with whom he can work. And in life, we have to make our own luck, and Kunle has made a mastercraft of making his own luck. There's a quote that Kunle shares in Atunbi. It says, "A calm sea never made a good sailor." And I've actually written that quote down and have it in my office here now. I think it captures the challenge and opportunity we have in this collective moment of challenge. It also captures the essence of the storms that Kunle has weathered that define the compassion he has for himself and others as he kind of moves through the world. So Kunle, for your sense of purpose, you've wanted to have a positive impact on the world, and I'm certainly grateful to know you and see your impact on everyone around you. And I'm so thankful for you in sharing your story so that we can have some insight into, what has made you who you are today. So thank you very much. I very much have enjoyed this book.
Wow, thank you so much, Anne. that was really, really beautiful. That dimension, looking at it from the research point of view and from your work and expertise, and being able to see the links and see the line, the dots, being able to connect the dots together to really find out what exactly made him so resilient despite all the things that he's gone through. And that is really, really beautiful. Thank you so much, Anne, for that. So we'll be going to the third person who will be looking at the third section of the book, and that's Kate Possin. Kate holds a PhD in clinical psychology from the University of California, San Diego. And she's currently practicing. She's a practicing neuropsychologist at the UCF's Memory and Aging Center Clinic. Today, Kate will be taking us on the third part of Kunle's book, The Glory. And let's welcome Kate Possin.
Thank you so much. It's so fun to be with all of you here today. Are you ready for some glory? All right, well, let's dive into the final part of Kunle's memoir, where we experience his many recognitions and achievements for such a young man. He's created the largest arts and health practitioner network on the continent of Africa, won many awards, and as we've heard, even a holiday named after him. His essential achievements, however, as we've heard, are in his personal development. From a boy with little self-esteem and so many adverse childhood experiences, to a man who's now courageously living the life of his dreams according to his vision and purpose. Kunle walks through life being Kunle. And because of who he has become and who he is becoming, the achievements follow him. His work has always started with himself, and that work continues. Well, 2020 has been a challenging year for so many of us. And if you're like me, there's a whole lot in the world that you're not happy about right now. With the pandemic, we are spending more time alone in our bubbles, and we can't distract ourselves with the next flashy thing that grabs our attention. Sometimes I feel discouraged about my day-to-day struggles and discouraged about our shared struggles with the pandemic, with the racism, with the climate change, and especially right now with this political situation and growing cultural divide in the United States. And sometimes I feel discouraged and even angry. After this pandemic, I don't want the world to go back to normal. I want to reach for something better. Maybe you want to reach for something better too in your personal life, or maybe you want to make an impact on some of the huge problems that our society is facing. So in these next few minutes, when I have the honor to speak to you about the third section of Kunle's book, I want you to join me on a personal journey guided by Kunle's lessons. So he will provide us with the guiding light that we need during this time to help us on our journeys. A few nights ago, when my husband and I sat together thinking about how we can make life a little better during this challenging time, I asked my husband, what would Kunle Adewale do? And we smiled at each other and felt a little spark, felt the courage that we needed to take the steps to change our trajectory towards happiness and a little further on our journeys. One of Kunle's mentors in 2013 asked him questions that have guided his journey. And so as a starting point, I ask you these questions right now. Grab a piece of paper and a pen if you want to jot down a few words. Who are you? What do you want to be known for? Why are you here? What problems were you born to solve? Who are you? What do you want to be known for? Why are you here? And what problems were you born to solve? Part 3 of Kunli's story begins with his first trip to America. It had always been a dream of Kunli's to visit America, and his dream was not to visit as a tourist, but to make an impact. He never dreamed that his first trip, though, would be at the invitation of the President of the United States. In 2015, he was among the 500 exceptional young African leaders selected for the Mandela Washington Fellowship Award by the US government. President Barack Obama launched this program in 2014. It was the flagship program of the president's Young African Leaders Initiative and embodied our president's commitment to invest in a new generation of young African leaders who are shaping the continent's future. Since it was launched in 2014, 4,400 young leaders from every country in sub-Saharan Africa have participated. The fellows, like Kunli, get the opportunity to hone their skills at a US college or university for 6 weeks, and then have support for professional development after they return home. The Obamas share the commitment to mentoring that is central to the Atlantic Fellowship Program, including the Global Brain Health Institute. These mentoring programs have ripple effects and can change the world. Returning home from the Mandela Washington Fellowship, Kunli leveraged his networks, new skills, and confidence to scale his work. He currently leads the largest arts and health practitioner network in Africa. Kunli has embraced his opportunities to receive mentorship, and now he mentors many emerging African leaders and arts practitioners through tender arts and arts and medicine. Kunli celebrates his wins. Perhaps more than anyone I know, he celebrates his own holiday, his art openings, and today his memoir at a young age. In the US, we see a narcissist in the news every day, and we might begin to think that it's bad to celebrate yourself. But Kunli does it with humility. When Kunli celebrates himself, we feel he celebrates all of us and the journeys that we are each on. Kunli loves his journey to make the world a better place through his commitment to use arts to inspire healing, hope, and bring joy to humanity. He writes in his memoir, "You too need to fall in love with your life's journey. Otherwise, you would wake up someday and see yourself in the wrong destination because you were trying to be someone else." Kunli is working for a cause, and he has fallen in love with his journey. And I ask you again about your journey. Who are you? What do you want to be known for? Why are you here? What problems were you born to solve? Kunli asks us to know our journey and to love our journey. Sometimes we can get distracted by comparing ourselves to others, or by whether we have accomplished enough and have we been recognized enough. So in those moments, we must reconnect with our love for the journey and why we are here. Kunli teaches us to mind our own business, focus on our assignments, and enjoy the process of becoming. When the world feels dark and when you feel discouraged, it can be hard to keep working on your cause. 2020 has been a disturbing time in the history of the world, and Kunli had dark moments this year. He wrote in his memoir, "Still, I had to show leadership. I knew I had to do something to make a difference, no matter how little. So I decided to create a little spark to inspire actions that can lead to greater change in organizations and communities around the world." And as Kunli always does, he sought to create a spark for people most in need. He partnered with the Alzheimer's Association of Northern California and Northern Nevada to facilitate virtual art for seniors living with dementia. Many people living with dementia and their caregivers have experienced painful isolation during this pandemic. Kunli brought his participants a sense of healing of connection and hope. By spreading light to them, his own light glowed brighter too. Fear can hold us back. Kunle asks his readers to consider, what is that thing that you are afraid of doing? What holds you back? What are you afraid of? So please take a moment to consider this. Do you have fear that is holding you back from some part of your journey? Can you today commit to confront and overcome whatever that is keeping you back from making progress? As we learn from Kunle, we must step out of our comfort zone. Stop playing safe if we want to do something worth remembering. Life's doors of opportunities are only open to the women and men of courage and resilience, those who are willing to take risks in the directions of their dreams. So today we celebrate Kunle and the story that he has shared. Although the story is his story, the lessons are universal and they apply to each and every one of us. Kunle teaches us through his story that you can love yourself and give true love, overcome your fears, find a life of joy and purpose, silence the voices that hold you back, forgive people who have wronged you, achieve your dreams, and be at peace with yourself. By celebrating Kunle and his story, we celebrate ourselves and we celebrate every person who is out there, creating a spark and loving their journey. 2020 has been a difficult year. I ask you to consider Kunle's story and his universal lessons as you connect with your own journey. Love your journey, create a spark, and reach for something better. Thank you.
Wow, wow, Kate, wow. That was such a beautiful way to wrap up the entire book of over 300 pages, actually. Such a beautiful way, and leaving every one of us very inspired to know that, you know, no matter what has happened to you, you can actually pretty much write your own story and determine what happens with your life, regardless of what has happened previously. Thank you so much for that, Kate. All right, so we'll be having a music interlude right now by the Arts and Medicine Orchestral Fellowship. It's going to be a video, but while that is being played by my colleague Andrew, if you have questions, please put your questions in the chat section of the meeting, and then we can look at the questions and then answer them.
I believe I was sent to bring joy to the world. I believe that I own in my love and my care. More than just an armor, a light in the dark and a flower in bloom. He'll bloom, shine so bright. Together we can heal the world. He'll bloom.
I hope the song is leaving you filled with love, filled with the possibilities, filled with how beautiful we can make the world become when we all take our places and make a difference. All right, so we're going to look, I'm trying to see if we have any questions. Okay, so there's one question. And someone says, what's next, Kunle?
Don't
Kunle,
answer
do you, all right, so more than questions, we actually have lots of beautiful feedback from everyone who has heard your story, and so inspiring. But yeah, I guess people want to know what is next and what should we look out for.
All right, thank you so much. I want to thank Mr. Kwelawo Feso. I want to thank Annie Brownie. I want to thank my GBHI mentor, Dr. Kate Posing, for the wonderful reviews of my book. I really deeply appreciate you for your kind words, and everyone on this call today, from US State Department, GBHI, UCSF, and everyone. Yeah, you know, oftentimes people ask me what is next. Sometimes I ask myself what is wrong with me, but I realize there's nothing wrong with me, because I realize that when I'm just like about completing a very big project, about 7 other ones already like incubating, like lined up, huge project. I'm not trying to make them up. It just come natural to me. Like, and then sometimes, you know, you heard when Dr. Bruce said, like, does he even sleep at all? I don't know. Like, it's just like my mind there's a reawakening in my mind that I can't really, like, in a way contain or handle, but things just come natural to me. What is next for me is Project 40. Anyways, because like, so the book launch you see today, so I have the hard copy of my book here. This is just like part of my ways of celebrating my 40th birthday, which is like even May 13, 2021. So in the midst of the pandemic, there's so much possibilities already. So I'm not waiting to clock 40 to make impact. Nah, 2021 is too far. I can do it now. Now that I'm alive, let me do what I can do for humanity. Let me share my story. Let me tell my story. I don't want other people asking other people about my story. No, I'm alive. Let me tell my story. Let me share my story in a way that I think that can be impactful. So Project 40 is coming forward. Very soon, my plan is to mentor under 40 CEOs in Nigeria as part of my 40th birthday. CEOs, under 40 CEOs in Nigeria. So my plan is to mentor them for the next 1 year as part of my birthday celebration to provide leadership and mentoring, because one of the things I believe in shared greatness. I don't believe in one particular person becoming great. That is not my life. My life is about sharing, inspiring, and empowering. So I want other people to be able to come up. I want to be a key that unlocks doors of greatness for other people. So the kind of benefit I've enjoyed in life, the kind of success, the kind of fellowship experience I've had in my life, I want to unlock doors for other people too. And one of the things I also plan to do is to do a book tour, to do a tour of my book in about 40 schools in Nigeria, secondary school and tertiary institutions, and probably even like community organization where they provide opportunity for undeserved children or vulnerable people. So my plan is the next phase is providing leadership and mentorship, and also sharing my story in about 40 schools to mark my 40th birthday. So I've not come to this world to play small. I'm not here to come and observe what is happening. I'm here to make things happen. I know that I've been given an energy, and my energy is there to be shared with the world. I'm not here to put my energy in my room. It's going to blow off the roof. So I think that my energy is needed out there, where people can receive it and can move forward in life and become the best version of themselves. So for me, the next phase is that. And in conclusion, already like there's a GoFundMe that I'm working on to establish the first Art in Health hub in Africa, which we have actually started already. Hopefully by 2021, we'll be able to complete the phase of that Art in Health hub for seniors living with dementia and other cognitive impairment in Nigeria. So what is next is Project 40. And I look forward to your support as we continue to make the world a better place. Remember, you and me, filled with love, heal the world. And I will say to you today, bloom where you are planted, regardless.
Thank you so much, Kunle. Thank you very much for that. That's the much we can take on questions right now. And we'll be moving to the big part of the event today. We'll be having the official launch of this beautiful book, and we'll be having the speaker, the official launch speaker, Ian Robertson. Ian is a professor emeritus of psychology at the Trinity College Dublin. And he was the founding director of Trinity College Institute of Neuroscience, as well as the Dean of Research at Trinity College from 2004 to 2007. And right now, Ian is the co-director of the Global Brain Health Institute based in the United States. Please let's welcome Ian as he takes us to the next phase.
It's not a memoir. It's a detective story. It's a mystery. And it's a mystery that moves from Mushin to San Francisco. And there's many puzzles in this mystery. But there are some clues in the solution to how that transition, that journey took place, because that's the puzzle. How did it take place? We've heard these beautiful descriptions, some of them grueling, and this is a grueling story of your early life. And so one of the great puzzles is how your description of your dad earlier in the book, in the Grit chapter, who brutalized your mother, who beat her up savagely, who beat you, who beat his children, who created this nightmarish environment, so it seemed. A man of drunk repeatedly, and it was just like almost a grotesque and nightmarish vision of a father. And then at the end of the book, you describe your father, a lover of knowledge, a source of your energy, a source of your need to do good for people. That is, Jekyll and Hyde has nothing on that. But of course, that transformation happened in your own mind. Reality is all perception. The world is all consciousness. It's about perception, and your perception changed, and that was a clue to your journey. And then your journey from self-loathing as an adolescent, for feeling of being unloved and unlovable, of your self-esteem so low, and then to now, where the last thing we consider of you is to have low self-esteem, and we love you for it. We love you because you love yourself, and that's infectious and contagious. And it was just as you spoke earlier on tonight that the mystery story began to crystallize, and you said two things. You said, you are not your past, and you are not your trauma. These are incredible words of wisdom. And the second thing, and Kate brought this up really in a beautiful discourse, you've got to be in love with your journey in the world. And you are in love with your journey in the world. And if there is a solution to this puzzle of that incredible journey from Mushin to San Francisco, it's this sense of being in love with your journey as an artist, your journey as someone impelled with a strange, seemingly external force to have this effect on the world as, in your words, a servant leader. This is a remarkable journey a remarkable puzzle, and it is a lesson for the world. So I propose, it's evening here, so I can propose a toast and to formally launch this incredible book. This is to Kunle and to your 40 CEOs, your 40, all the other things you're going to do, because you are creating the future and you're showing us how with the sheer power of the human mind, you can create the future. Thank you, Kunle, and a toast to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anne, for that. That was really beautiful. Thank you so much. So at this point, I would hand it over to Kunle as you give your last words as we wrap up the event for today.
Thank you so much, Ian, for that wonderful toast. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words and your grace and everything that you've said here today. I really deeply appreciate you, sir. Currently now, GBHI is accepting applications for people, especially those who are in the creative arts, those who are really passionate about brain health. And I want to say that to you today, that you can apply. Application will close by October 15. So you can still apply. I mean, today I'm a Senior Atlantic Fellow for Equity in Brain Health. So like I said, I believe so much in shared greatness. And today I'm sharing this opportunity with you. Today, I'm not someone that sees opportunity and hide it from other people. That's not me. I push people towards opportunity and I want people to be great, even probably greater than myself. So today, you see that every program that I'm part of, I use it as a platform to provide opportunity for other people, like we are doing now. So please, I hope maybe Camelia can share the link to GBHI, but probably maybe that will be sent via the email that we have. Probably that can be sent as part of it too, so people can have direct access to it. Thank you, Tongdam, for that. So you can actually apply to be an Atlantic Fellow of Equity in Brain Health, and it closes by October 15. I want to thank, first and foremost, I want to thank God for everything, because without God, we are nobody. So I'm a man of faith. So I know sometimes we shy away from talking about God. Don't worry. But God is God. And then without God, we are nobody. And I thank him for the grace to be alive and to be able to share my story. I also want to thank my wife and my son, my 9-month-old son, Adejuwon. You know, to read my dedication, I actually dedicated my book to my 9-month-old son. Right. I know sometimes we tied love to things. Somebody must be nice to you before you are nice to them. Somebody must show you love before you show them love. But anyway, I'm teaching my son how to love, that regardless, whether people do anything for you or not, love them regardless. My son have not done anything, but today my book is dedicated to him. He's just 9 months plus. He has not even learned to say ABC. But already, my son will grow up and he will be proud of his father. So, and that's why I'm just saying that to you today, regardless of what your children look like, speak something positive into their lives. I'm thankful for my wife, Mokulola Fadaka Adewale, for, you know, I've been away for almost 14 months. Like, what? When are you coming back home? This man, are you sure America will release you? I'm coming home soon. Right. I also want to thank the Global Brain Health Institute. I want to thank the leadership, starting from Dr. Bruce Miller to Dr. Victor Vaco, the Executive Director of GBHI program, to Brian Lolo, to Robert Singh, to Leah Greenberg, to all of GBHI faculty members. I mean, these are wonderful people that supported us even in the midst of the pandemic, always ensuring that we are okay. I just want to say a very big thank you to you. Thank you for giving me wings to fly, because I wouldn't have written the part of the glory. You need to read the chapter 14, because I spoke so much about GBHI and the role that GBHI played in my journey. So I cannot but leave that out of the book. And I want to say a very big thank you to you for the opportunity to grow, to learn, and continue to move forward in life. Thank you, sirs, and thank you, ma'am. I want to thank the UCSF faculty members. Thank you for everything, all of you. The Mark Band, yes, the music band, Thank you so much. All of you, thank you very much. I'm grateful to you for a moment of sharing song together with you. It's been amazing. 2020, I looked at 2020 like, whoa, I'm grateful that I was part of Mac Band, because music became like a safe place for me, a safe space for me, and allowed me to be able to write my book, allowed me to be able to move forward in life. Thank you, Mac Band. Thank you so much. I also want to thank the US State Department. They actually representative today. Britta actually joined us from US State Department from Washington, DC. And also my friend, BJ from State Department, US State Department. Thank you very much. Like I said in my book, today, my life is a product of support, life support from US government. And that's why I talk about, you see a level or a depth of diplomacy or diplomatic relation between Nigeria and the United States. And that has really helped me to become the man I am today. So I'm thankful to the US State Department. I'm thankful to all my fellow on this Zoom call, the fellow from GBHI, my senior fellow. Thank you very much for checking in and for being part of this experience. I also want to thank the book reviewers, like I said earlier on, Mr. Pelua Professor, Annie Brownie, and my GBHI mentor, Dr. Kate Posing. I mean, she's just a wonderful person. I mean, thank you for your support, your love, everything. I'm super grateful to all of you today. I'm thankful for the technical crew on this Zoom call today, starting with Camille, Camelia, Andrew, Philip, thank you so much. And I'm also grateful to the Alzheimer Association of Northern California and Northern Nevada. Thank you so much. I mean, I have a family now, an added family in the United States. I'm also thankful to, the book reviewers, my friend and brother Tolu Olorunipa, that works with Washington Post and also CNN analyst, and work with the White House, the US White House. Who wrote a review in my book, actually is on this Zoom call. Thank you so much, Tulu. I'm deeply grateful to you. I'm thankful to all of the people that wrote the review of my book. And I'm also thankful to Wemimo, my friend all the way in Canada, always there to just like, don't worry, I'm going to join you. So Wemimo, I have a friend in Canada, so make sure you find her anyways. So, but today, without all of you in this Zoom room, it will be an empty room. And so I'm thankful to all of you. I know you are very busy people. You have great things to do. I'm thankful to all of you. I'm thankful to all the Mandela Washington Fellows from Nigeria, all the MWF Fellows that came to the US in 2015. Some of them are already they are on this Zoom call. Thank you very much. Dr. Bosse, Bob Well, Tola, Ayo, all of you. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And I'm also thankful to all the Art in Medicine Fellowship fellows in Nigeria and the leadership on this Zoom call. I can go on and on and on. Thankful to Madga, my wonderful friend, always there to give us the energy. And after now, Madga is taking us to the final part of this book launch today. I'm thankful to all of you, even if I'm not able to mention your name. Thank you, Nancy Westcott. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, BJ. Thank you, everyone, all of you. I'm super grateful to all of you. Madga is going to give us the last song for today. And I want to just get ready and I'll say, I love you all. I celebrate you all. Remember, you are not here as a spectator. You are here as a stakeholder in making the world a better place. You are not here to play small. You have so much blessing in you that even you cannot contain. It's high time you opened up and start expressing your God-given gifts. Because when you express your God-given gift, your life will experience a dramatic shift. There's a shift coming your way. It's going to be a very big one that you will not be able to contain. I love you all. I celebrate you all. Thank you so much. Mr. Chanyo, Professor Yemi Ayadi, thank you. Everyone love you. And then please do purchase the book on Amazon. The link will be shared now. Click, leave a review. I love you and I celebrate you all. God bless you.